Hello everyone, I'm Kira. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be walking you through 6 different ways I like to choose color palettes for my coloring pages. Now, I have always been fortunate that I've always had a pretty good eye for color. My mum actually told me that it was either the first day of kindergarten or very early on in my schooling years, the teacher came up to her and was like, "Oh my god, Kira is so good with color. She just knows what colors go well together." I guess it's kind of like those people who are just naturally athletic and can pick up any sport. I'm definitely not one of those people, but I like to think I have a pretty good eye for color. But sometimes I do struggle picking a color palette, or I just want to challenge myself and put together a palette that I wouldn't usually gravitate towards, which is where these 6 methods come in handy. Now, obviously, there are so many different ways you can choose a color palette for your pages, but I'm just going to be diving into these 6 today because they're my personal favorites and would be easiest for beginners to put into practice. I'll be using this page here from Small Victories, and each little vignette I'm going to color using one of the 6 methods. I've already colored the leaves for this page because green is going to be our grounding color. I don't know if this is a technical term, but it is a term that I picked up from Karen at My Colorful Country Life. And from what I understand, or at least how I use it on my pages, is that the grounding color sort of sets the context for the page, like blue for the sky or ocean, or in this case, green for the leaves. Having a grounding color also really helps just bring the main elements of the page to the forefront. Now, the 6 color palettes I've chosen today all are very bright and similar-ish. This is just so the page doesn't turn out too chaotic and has some cohesion in the end, like I said before. But with each of these methods, you can create more pastel and muted color palettes as well. All right, I've chit-chatted way too much already. Let's get into the first method. The first method is the one that I started with at the very beginning of my coloring journey, and that is using reference images. I have so many Pinterest boards dedicated to coloring, and I have one board completely dedicated to color palette inspiration. Most of the time, I get my color palette inspiration from other colorists' work, but you can get inspiration from literally anywhere. Real life, interior design, architecture, nature, anything can be inspiration. For this first vignette, I found this graphic artwork here on Pinterest and I thought it was just absolutely adorable. The pink, orangey red, and blue isn't a combination that I would typically put together, so this was my reference image. And just a bit of a disclaimer, this isn't going to be a full color along video because I have a lot of information to cover. I'm just going to be putting some color down for the main elements of the page so you can see how I translate the color palettes onto paper. And also, once I choose a color palette, I don't hold it as gospel. I use my palettes as inspiration / a starting point. And then if I feel like I want to go in a different direction, I allow myself to do that. I might slightly change the hue of a color or add a new color into the mix. I just find that having a color palette helps you get started and allows the creativity to start flowing within you and actually enjoy the coloring process. The second method is one I feel like 99% of you know already, but I'm gonna touch on it anyway. It's using a pre-made color palette. Pinterest is yet again a great resource for this, plus it's free. But if you feel like treating yourself, you can also get products like the Color Cube and the Color Catalog from Sarah Renee Clark. My mom actually has one of the cubes and she loves it because she loves having the tangible palette in her hands. But my go-to is Pinterest because I am on a budget and I'll often search for things like summer color palette, underwater color palette, bright color palette. I always put a descriptive word before color palette because that just helps narrow down my results to what I'm looking for. For this page, I actually searched for bright blue color palette. And so I decided to go with this palette here. It was calling out to me. And you'll notice that all of the palettes that I've chosen today are around 3 to 5 colors, just because these vignettes are like so tiny, but you can have as many colors in a color palette as you wish. I just find that when you're starting out, focusing on 3 to 5 colors just makes it a little bit less overwhelming and pretty much guarantees that your page will look pretty good at the end. The third method is one that I use most often nowadays, and I've dubbed it as the AYG method, which translates as the as you go method. I touched on this in my how to color in small victories video, but basically what I do is look at the main element of the page, decide what color I want it to be, and then color it that color. After I've done that, I'll go to the next main element of the page, decide what color I want that to be, and color it that color, so on, so forth. I find that this is a very intuitive approach that you naturally start doing as you progress on your coloring journey. And if at any point I get stuck, I'll literally look at all the colors that are currently on the page. So in this case, it is yellow and purple, and I'll type into Pinterest yellow and purple color palettes, and then I'll get some inspiration on what colors to choose from there. For this search result, I saw a lot of pink paired with yellow and purple, so I decided to go with that and use that as the color for the final floral elements in the vignette. Now the next three methods, there's a floating hair. The next three methods involve the color wheel and color theory. Yes, I know. I still don't fully understand color theory myself, but these are 3 types of color schemes that you can create using the color wheel that I think are the easiest to grasp and put into practice. First up is the one that I sometimes struggle to say, so apologies if I mispronounce it. Analogous, I think that's right. Analogous color schemes are ones that use colors that sit together on the color wheel. This helps create a look that's super cohesive and just looks really nice to the eye. To make an analogous color palette, you choose the main color that you like and then pick the 2 colors right next to it. For example, if you choose blue, you could then choose blue green and blue violet and put that into your color palette. You can also keep things interesting by using different shades and intensities of the colors that you've chosen. For this vignette, I decided to go with red, orange, and yellow just to tie in the reds that I used in the first vignette. The next color scheme is my personal favorite when using the color wheel. It is a complementary color scheme. Complementary color schemes use colors that are directly opposite each other on the color wheel. This creates a look that's super vibrant with lots of contrast, which just sums up my coloring pages to a T. To make a complementary color palette, you choose your main color and then the color that is directly opposite on the color wheel. For example, if you choose red, its complementary color is green. That's right, Christmas is a complementary color palette. Sometimes a complementary color palette can be a little bit intense, so to prevent your page from looking too visually overwhelming, try balancing out your colors with different shades and intensities, like I've done here with the different shades of blue. The final method we're going to be talking about today is triadic color schemes. Triadic color schemes use 3 colors that are evenly spaced throughout the color wheel, basically creating like a little triangle within the center. To create a triadic color palette, pick a main color and find the 2 other colors that are an equal distance from it on the wheel. A triadic color scheme is really great for adding variety and energy to a page whilst maintaining harmony. But just like the other 2 color schemes using the color wheel, if these colors are too bright for you, try using more muted tones of the chosen colors to make the vibe of the page suit you. And there you have it, 6 different ways to choose a color palette for your coloring pages. You can use a reference image, a pre-made color palette, the AYG approach, or an analogous, complementary, or triadic color scheme. This page isn't finished yet. I'll add more colors where needed, backgrounds, and some extra details. But hopefully this video gave you some good basics on how to choose color palettes for your pages. If you want to see how this page turns out, make sure to be following me on Instagram, or you can also subscribe to see my July completed pages video at the beginning of next month. Let me know which one of these methods is your favorite, or if you have a different way of choosing your color palettes. I love chatting about it in the comments below. Now, before I finish this video, I know a lot of you are wanting me to do color alongs, and I am wanting to do them as well. I am just trying to sort out my filming setup. The way I'm filming my coloring at the moment, as you saw throughout this video, is very uncomfortable for me. I have to like be on the side and curl around my tripod and stuff. So I'm looking at getting like an overhead tripod and everything. So hopefully that'll make the coloring process easier for me and will allow me to sit down for long periods of time and color to show you guys. So yeah, I promise color alongs are coming. I just need to sort out my setup. All right, happy coloring, my friends. Have a good day, have a good life, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.